Imagine standing at the base of a building twice as tall as the Empire State Building, and still not half a mile high. As skyscrapers rise higher, they face challenges that most don't consider, like wind forces and the weight of steel. Almost half the height of these towers is often unoccupied spire, and elevators have material limits. Beyond the glass and steel, there are hidden challenges of structure, comfort, and cost that make mile-high buildings seem impossible. But could those barriers soon be overcome? Hidden challenges of height. When skyscrapers reach for the sky, they face more than just gravity pulling them down. Invisible forces like wind can twist and shake these giants in unexpected ways, creating dangerous vibrations that threaten their stability. Imagine the building swaying so much that it feels like a mini earthquake every time a strong gust passes by. This happens because the wind creates vortices, mini tornadoes, that form alternately on each side of the structure, pulling it back and forth with increasing force. Beyond wind, the immense weight of materials also presents a huge challenge. Steel and concrete, while incredibly strong, become heavier and less efficient the taller they go. At extreme heights, the building's own weight pushes down with such pressure that the lower sections must be extraordinarily reinforced, adding even more mass. This leads to a cycle where carrying more weight demands more structural support, which adds more weight, making the design incredibly complex and costly. What's surprising is that these challenges aren't simply solved with stronger materials or thicker walls. The interaction between the building and natural forces grows disproportionately as height increases, demanding entirely new ways to think about structure and balance. The biggest question engineers ask is how to keep these giant towers not only standing, but comfortable and safe for the people inside. Even without diving into complex solutions just yet, it's clear that reaching a mile into the sky isn't just about building higher. It's about mastering forces that grow stranger and harsher the taller the building gets. The Burj Khalifa's buttress core. The breakthrough that changed how we build super tall skyscrapers came with the Burj Khalifa, which introduced a design concept radically different from everything that came before. Instead of relying solely on a single central core or a simple steel frame, engineers created what they call a buttress core system, a design inspired by a tripod where three wings or legs support the structure. This three-part design enabled the Burj Khalifa to leap over previous height records, standing at 828 meters, more than 60% taller than any building before it. Interestingly, it also uses less steel than older skyscrapers like the Empire State Building, showing that smarter engineering can beat brute strength. The wing-like form spreads forces evenly and breaks down wind pressure, allowing the building to withstand extreme environmental stress without overbuilding its skeleton. What set this design apart was not just stability, but flexibility. It shows how skyscrapers aren't bound to a single structural style. Engineers describe these systems like biological species, different forms adapted to various scales and environments. The Burj Khalifa's buttress core was more than an upgrade. It sparked a new era of super-tall buildings that dared to push boundaries. Controlling wind forces in skyscraper design. Understanding how to control the wind's power is a crucial part of what makes a skyscraper safe and livable at extreme heights. If you imagine a building standing still against roaring wind, the reality is far more complicated. Wind flows around a structure, creating swirling vortices that pull alternately on either side, making the building sway, sometimes enough to cause discomfort or even structural damage if left unchecked. To tackle this, engineers use wind tunnels with carefully crafted scale models to simulate real conditions. They even use Lego bricks to represent nearby trees and buildings, capturing how city environments change airflow. These experiments reveal how slight adjustments in shape can drastically reduce harmful wind forces, leading to design changes so significant that the Burj Khalifa's entire spiral was reversed after testing. Beyond shaping, architects include empty jump floors that let the wind pass through the building, reducing pressure on the facade. Sometimes they even design parts of the building to channel wind strategically, similar to how race cars use ventilation for stability. These intricate adaptations aren't about preventing collapse. They focus mostly on minimizing sway so people at dizzying heights don't feel like they're on a boat in a storm. The battle against wind shows why simply stacking more floors isn't enough to climb higher. These invisible forces demand a dance of design, testing, and innovation that shapes every new record-breaking tower. The challenges of height extend from ground to sky, blending physics with creativity in ways most never imagine. How do you move hundreds of meters upward inside a structure that's still safe, efficient, and comfortable to live in? To dive deeper into the fascinating world of skyscraper engineering, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights. The elevator dilemma. Moving people quickly and comfortably through hundreds of floors is one of the greatest challenges in designing ultra-tall buildings. Elevators face a practical limit of around 500 meters because the steel ropes used to lift the cabins become too heavy to carry beyond that height. This means taller structures must rely on multiple elevator banks and transfer floors, sometimes called sky lobbies, where passengers switch between elevators to continue their journey upward. While functional, this setup eats up valuable space and adds inconvenience for anyone trying to reach the top floors. To push beyond this limit, engineers have developed new materials like carbon fiber ropes, known as ultra-rope, which are far lighter yet strong enough to support elevator cabins over longer distances. This innovation is already planned for use in the Jeddah Tower, enabling elevators to travel up to 1 kilometer without needing to transfer. However, even with these advances, going beyond a kilometer will require entirely new systems, such as multi-directional elevators that can move sideways or run on rails, concepts that verge on science fiction but may be essential for the future. Without practical, fast access to upper floors, even the most ambitious towers risk becoming unusable. Foundations and materials. Supporting a structure that stretches toward the clouds requires more than just a strong design. Its foundation must be rock solid. The deepest foundations belong to the Petronas Towers in Malaysia, where 104 concrete piles reach down over 100 meters into the earth. These piles ensure the towers rest on bedrock capable of bearing immense weight. Finding the right ground is vital because many cities, where skyscrapers traditionally rise, are located in river valleys with soft or unstable soil, which complicates building tall. Concrete itself has evolved dramatically since the mid-20th century. Modern ultra-high-performance concrete can be tens of times stronger than what was once standard, thanks to innovations like superplasticizers that reduce the water needed in the mix. These advances allow engineers to pump concrete to unprecedented heights during construction, crucial for buildings like the Burj Khalifa, which used high-pressure pumps to quickly move concrete upward before it set. In hot climates, special measures like adding ice chips help control curing times, underscoring how even minor details become monumental challenges in super-tall builds. Beyond materials, the local environment heavily influences foundation design and construction methods. Building a mile-high tower in the Middle East's desert heat comes with vastly different obstacles than constructing the same in cooler climates. Each project demands a carefully coordinated approach, as mistakes multiply enormously at such scales. The demands of moving people efficiently within these structures can only be met once the foundation and materials are solid and reliable. Economic and human factors. Building a mile-high skyscraper is not just an engineering feat, it's a massive financial gamble. The cost per vertical meter for the tallest buildings in the world averages around $2,600,000. This staggering expense is why many developers opt to build shorter, more cost-effective projects that still generate strong returns. Even with cutting-edge technology and materials, the financial risk rarely justifies the marginal benefit of extra height, especially when the usable space shrinks due to design constraints like huge spires and mechanical floors. Human comfort also becomes a serious issue as buildings reach extreme heights. To be classified as a true building, at least half of the floors must be occupiable. Yet in existing super-tall structures, spires and unoccupied sections can make up nearly half the total height. These spikes add little functional space but inflate records and costs. Ultimately, these factors converge to shape the true limit of skyscrapers. The aspiration to build the tallest structure is often driven by pride and prestige as much as practicality. Like the Eiffel Tower, a tall building is a symbol, an unmistakable statement that puts a city on the global map. From wind forces and materials to elevators and finances, each challenge tests how far we can push the limits of construction. While a mile-high tower isn't impossible, it demands innovation, caution, and huge investment. If you enjoyed exploring these dizzying heights, be sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's greatest engineering feats.